The Kybalion, it's a name whispered in hushed tones, a text spoken of with reverence, yet for so many, it remains frustratingly out of reach. You've probably picked it up, tried to decipher its ancient wisdom, and felt nothing. Or worse, confusion. It's not that the words are too complex or the concepts too arcane, it's something far more profound. The Kybalion isn't a book to be read in the traditional sense. It's a key, and like any key, it only turns in a lock that's ready. This readiness isn't a matter of intellect, it's about vibrational alignment. A deep, almost cellular shift within you needs to occur before its true meaning can even begin to dawn. You might have felt this before, this sense of being on the cusp of understanding, only for it to slip away like smoke. It's not your fault. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, holds back its deepest secrets until you're vibrating at a frequency where you can actually receive them. This isn't a punishment, but a protection. For now, understand this. The Kybalion isn't a narrative to follow, but a mirror to gaze into. And what that mirror reflects depends entirely on who you are when you choose to look. But what makes you incapable of seeing until now, that's what we need to uncover. And real quick, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell for more videos just like this. Now let's keep going. So why the veil? Why the feeling that the Kybalion, and indeed many spiritual texts, are designed to be understood only by a select few? It all comes down to your own inner state. You are blind to its true message, not because of external gatekeepers, but because your internal gates were closed. Your vibration was simply not tuned to the frequency of the text. Think of it like trying to tune into a radio station, but your dial is stuck on static. You can hear the noise, but the clear music of deeper truth remains elusive. This isn't a judgment. It's simply a statement of energetic fact. The universe doesn't withhold knowledge arbitrarily. It operates on principles of resonance. Until your inner world matches the outer message, the message remains encrypted. It's a protective mechanism, ensuring that profound truths aren't grasped superficially, leading to misunderstanding and misuse. This isn't about being smarter or more devout. It's about a subtle but vital shift that needs to happen within you. This readiness is the first, and perhaps most crucial, step. But how does this personal readiness connect to the structure of reality itself? That's the next piece of our puzzle. The Kybalion, it's a title that conjures images of ancient scrolls and hidden wisdom. Yet, to approach it as merely a book, a collection of words on a page, is to miss its entire purpose. It is not a destination to be read, but a point of departure. It functions less like a map and more like a mirror. You do read a mirror, you look into it, and what you see is a reflection of yourself. The Kybalion reflects the observer. If you approach it with a mind full of doubt, you'll see doubt. If you approach it with spiritual hunger, you'll find sustenance. This is the core misstep many make. They try to analyze it, dissect it, and dogmatically extract lessons from its pages. But the wisdom isn't in the words themselves. It's awakened by the state of being the words induce within you. It's a catalyst, not a codex. This transformative power, this mirroring effect, is tied to a fundamental principle that underpins everything. And understanding this principle is the true key, not the text itself. But what hidden principle is it that holds such power? This is what we must now explore. Within the seemingly straightforward teachings of the Kybalion, there lies a hidden cipher, a principle so fundamental that it acts as the master key to unlocking all the others. This isn't an obscure footnote, it's the very bedrock upon which the entire Hermetic philosophy is built. This secret is woven into the principle of correspondence. As it is written, as above, so below. As within, so without. But this isn't just a poetic phrase, it's a literal description of how reality is constructed, a blueprint for the universe. It reveals that your inner world and your outer world are not separate entities. They are, in fact, intricately linked, constantly influencing and reflecting each other. Your thoughts, beliefs, and emotional states are not just internal phenomena. They are energetic blueprints that shape the very fabric of your perceived reality. The universe echoes what resonates within you. This principle is the gateway to understanding how mental patterns manifest into tangible experiences. It's the bridge between consciousness and form, the mechanism by which the unseen becomes seen. And once you grasp this, you begin to see how the other principles of Hermeticism are merely expressions of this one core truth. But how does this principle, so powerful, become so easily misread? That's the danger we'll now face. There's a profound danger in approaching spiritual texts, especially those as potent as the Kybalion, with a purely intellectual or ego-driven mindset. This is where many seekers stumble, and tragically, where genuine wisdom can curdle into rigid dogma or even spiritual arrogance. When you try to force understanding, to learn the principles rather than remember them, you create a barrier. You're trying to intellectualize something that is fundamentally an energetic and experiential truth. It's like trying to taste a color or hear a scent. You're using the wrong sense. This misreading can lead to a distorted view of reality. You might start believing you've grasped divine truths, while in reality, you're only holding onto an intellectual construct, a shadow of the light. This can breed a dangerous self-righteousness, a feeling of superiority over others who haven't seen the light. The true teachings are meant to liberate, not to create intellectual hierarchies. When misread, they can become chains, binding you to a limited perspective. This misguided grasp is a serious obstacle to genuine transformation. But why does the universe itself seem to withhold its deeper truths until you're truly ready, until you've moved past this misreading? That's the next mystery to unfold. Why does the universe seem to hold back its deepest secrets, its most profound truths, until you reach a certain state of energetic readiness? It's not a capricious game of cosmic hide-and-seek. It's a matter of profound safety and elegant design. Imagine giving a newborn baby the keys to a complex machine. It would be dangerous, right? The baby lacks the understanding, the coordination, the physical maturity to operate it safely. The universe operates similarly. It guards its most powerful laws until the mind, your consciousness, has developed the capacity to wield them responsibly. Until you align your vibration, until you've integrated some of the foundational lessons at a soul level, attempting to grasp certain truths can be like handing someone a live electrical wire. The energy is too intense, the consequences of misuse too great. The universe prioritizes your spiritual well-being. This holding back is an act of immense love and protection. It ensures that when you do break through, you're not just intellectually aware, but energetically aligned. You're ready to integrate and embody the truth, not just possess it. But what does this alignment look like in the tangible structure of our world? We will now see. The principle of correspondence, as above, so below, reveals something profound about the very structure of our reality. It tells us that the universe is a fractal, a self-similar pattern that repeats at every level, from the smallest atom to the grandest galaxy. And at the heart of this fractal is a mirrored existence. Your life as you experience it is not a random series of events. It is a direct reflection, a cosmic echo of your inner landscape. What you hold as truth within your mind and heart, the universe faithfully projects back to you. Every circumstance, every relationship, every challenge is a mirrored image of an inner code. Think of it like a projector. The slide in the projector is your inner state, your beliefs, your dominant vibrations. The screen, the illuminated image you see, is your outer reality. If the slide is clear and vibrant, so is the projection. If the slide is distorted or faded, so is the image on the screen. This mirror world structure means that to change your external reality, you don't manipulate the outside, you transform the inside. The outer is always a consequence, an echo of the inner. This understanding shifts everything. But what is the fundamental force that creates these inner codes? That is what we must now investigate. If the universe mirrors our inner states, then what is the fundamental building block of those inner states? What is the engine that drives the entire creative process, both internally and externally? The answer, according to Hermeticism, is thought. Thought is not some fleeting, ephemeral thing. It is the very skeleton key of creation. Every concept, every idea, every belief you hold begins as a thought. These thoughts are not passive. They are active, energetic impulses that ripple outwards, shaping your perception and, consequently, your reality. When you think, you are not merely contemplating, you are initiating a creative act. You are sending out a vibration, a frequency, that attracts corresponding experiences. If your thoughts are predominantly of lack, you will attract circumstances that reflect that lack. If your thoughts are of abundance, you will manifest abundance. This is the incredible power and responsibility that comes with consciousness. Your mind is not just a receiver of information. It is a transmitter, constantly broadcasting desires and expectations into the fabric of existence. Understanding this power is crucial, but there's a force that can easily obscure its clarity. That force is what we'll look at next. The universe operates on fundamental principles, and one of the most powerful, yet often misunderstood, is the principle of polarity. It teaches us that opposites are merely two extremes of the same thing. Hot and cold, light and dark, good and evil. These are not separate realities, but different degrees on a single spectrum. While crucial for understanding the dynamics of existence, polarity can also mask the deeper message. We tend to get caught in the duality, labeling experiences as good or bad, right or wrong. This creates resistance. We fight against what we perceive as negative, inadvertently giving it more power and reinforcing its presence in our lives. This attachment to duality can blind us to the underlying unity. It prevents us from seeing that both poles are simply expressions of the same underlying energy. The universe doesn't judge. It simply responds to the vibration you're emitting, regardless of whether you label that vibration as positive or negative. By getting trapped in the struggle between opposites, we miss the neutral, creative power that exists at the center. This constant battle distracts us from the subtler truths about our own projections. But how can we identify these subtle projections in our everyday lives? That's our next crucial step. You've felt it. Those uncanny coincidences, those moments when life seems to glitch, presenting you with an almost unbelievable alignment of circumstances. These aren't random occurrences. They are personal glitches in the matrix, direct messages from the universe, revealing the mirrored structure of your reality. Perhaps you've been thinking intently about an old friend, and suddenly they call. Or you've been wrestling with a specific problem, and the exact solution appears in an unexpected way. These aren't just happy accidents. They are the principle of correspondence in action, your inner state being vividly reflected in your outward experience. These synchronistic events are like little winks from the cosmos, showing you the cause and effect relationship between your thoughts, your feelings, and the unfolding of your life. They are undeniable proofs that your inner world is the blueprint for your outer world. They are invitations to pay attention. By learning to recognize these personal glitches, you begin to decode the hidden language of your own consciousness. You see how your beliefs attract certain people or situations, how your fears manifest into challenges. These moments are powerful teachers, guiding you towards a deeper understanding. But what is the underlying language that makes these glitches speak so clearly? That's our next point of focus. What is the true language of the universe? It's not spoken words, not written symbols, but something far more primal and fundamental. Vibration. Everything in existence, every atom, every thought, every emotion, is a form of energy vibrating at a specific frequency. The Kybalion, at its core, is teaching you to understand and then manipulate your own vibration. When you are in a state of fear, you vibrate at a low frequency. When you are in a state of joy, you vibrate at a high frequency. And the universe responds to these vibrations, mirroring them back to you in your external circumstances. This is why merely knowing spiritual principles intellectually isn't enough. True transformation comes when you embody those principles, when your entire being resonates with the truth. It's about shifting your internal frequency so that your outer reality naturally aligns. Your dominant thoughts, your emotional patterns, your core beliefs, all of these contribute to your unique vibrational signature. And this signature is what the universe reads, what it responds to, what it projects back. But if you get this wrong, if you try to force something that isn't aligned, what happens? That's the next crucial lesson. Many people embark on the path of manifestation with great enthusiasm, armed with affirmations and visualizations. They believe that by sheer force of will, they can conjure their desires into existence. Yet for so many, these efforts fall flat, leaving them frustrated and disillusioned. Why? Because manifestation without law is like building a house on sand. The error lies in overlooking the fundamental principles that govern the universe. You can repeat affirmations like a mantra all day long, but if your underlying vibration, your deeply held beliefs, and your core emotional state are not in alignment with those affirmations, they will remain just words. The universe doesn't respond to what you say you want, it responds to what you are. The principle of correspondence, of vibration, of mentalism, these are not optional extras for manifestation. They are the very engine that makes it work. They dictate that your inner world must align with your outer desires before they can materialize. Without this alignment, your attempts at manifestation are essentially trying to force a square peg into a round hole. This is where true spiritual practice begins. It's not about bending the universe to your will, but about becoming a vibrational match for what you desire. But how does the universe orchestrate this intricate dance of cause and effect? That brings us to the subtle but powerful influence of rhythm. Every aspect of existence, from the beating of your heart to the turning of the planets, operates on rhythm. There is a cosmic pendulum that swings, a rhythmic pulse that governs the ebb and flow of all things. This is the principle of rhythm, and it's constantly testing your alignment. Think about the tides, the seasons, even the cycles of sleep and wakefulness. These are all manifestations of this underlying rhythm. In our personal lives, this principle can manifest as periods of energetic rise and fall, of activity and rest, of receiving and releasing. The danger lies in fighting against this natural pulse. When you resist the natural ebb, when you try to maintain a constant peak, you create internal tension. This disharmony disrupts your vibration and hinders your ability to manifest positively. The universe is testing your ability to flow with, rather than against, these natural cycles. By understanding and working with rhythm, you can learn to harness its power. You recognize that periods of apparent stillness or challenge are not setbacks, but necessary phases in a larger cosmic dance. This acceptance allows for deeper integration, but rhythm isn't the only foundational principle at play. There's another, deeply embedded in the fabric of creation itself. That's the next principle we'll uncover. The Kybalion reveals that all is gendered. This isn't about biological sex, but a fundamental energetic principle that permeates the entire universe. Masculine and feminine energies are not just present in people, but in ideas, in forces, in every creation. The masculine is the active, projective principle, the initiator. The feminine is the receptive, generative principle, the nurturer. This hidden architecture of thought and creation is how new realities are born. An idea, like a spark of masculine energy, is projected. It then seeks the nurturing, receptive energy of the feminine to gestate, to grow, and eventually to manifest into form. All creation is an interplay between these two fundamental forces, a perpetual dance of giving and receiving. Understanding this gender principle allows you to see how your own thoughts and intentions are being conceived and born. Are you actively projecting your desires, and are you then creating the receptive space for them to materialize? Or are you stuck in one energy, hindering the natural process of creation? This is a key to understanding how your mental world is structured, but recognizing this structure leads to a profound shift in how you perceive yourself. That's the next transformation we'll look at. For so long, you've approached spiritual texts and the quest for wisdom as a reader. You've consumed information, gathered facts, and built an intellectual understanding. But the true path to transformation, as the Kybalion hints, isn't about learning more. It's about remembering what you already inherently know. This shift from reader to realizers is a fundamental identity change. As a reader, you are an observer, separate from the knowledge. As a realizer, you become the knowledge. You don't learn about the principle of correspondence, you embody it. You don't read about vibration, you are vibration. This transition is often marked by moments of profound recognition, where concepts that once seemed foreign suddenly feel familiar, like an ancient memory surfacing. It's a reclaiming of lost truths. The wisdom isn't being imported from an external source, it's being unearthed from within your own being. This realization is the beginning of true power, true freedom. It moves you beyond intellectual assent to experiential truth. You cease to be a student of the universe and become a conscious co-creator of it. But what does it mean to live from this new identity, from this state of realization? That's what we'll explore next. When you truly shift from being a reader to a realizer, your entire experience of life changes. You begin to live not as a personality, defined by a set of learned beliefs and experiences, but as a projected frequency. Your personality becomes an expression of your core vibration, not its ruler. You understand that your thoughts, emotions, and actions are not independent events, but waves emanating from a deeper, constant source. This source is your true being, your energetic signature. You are not just a collection of experiences. You are a living, breathing frequency that the universe is constantly reflecting. This awareness liberates you from the tyranny of the ego, from the constant striving and defining. You recognize that you are an integral part of the cosmic tapestry, a unique vibration contributing to the grand symphony of existence. Your life becomes a conscious expression of your deepest truth, not a struggle against perceived limitations. This is the ultimate state of alignment, living as the pure, projected frequency that you are. But how do you access this state? How do you move from intellectual understanding to this profound, embodied realization? That's the final, transformative step. The ultimate secret, the culmination of all these principles, is that true transformation doesn't come from acquiring new knowledge, but from remembering what has been forgotten. Learning is an additive process, a piling on of information. Remembering, however, is a subtractive process. It's about uncovering the inherent truth that's already within you. You are not meant to be a student of the universe forever. You are meant to be a conscious expression of it. The wisdom of the Kybalion and the deeper truths of existence are not external doctrines to be memorized. They are innate realities that you can access through alignment and remembrance. When you remember who you truly are, a vibration, a frequency, a divine spark, the external world naturally begins to rearrange itself to match. The process isn't about forcing change, but about allowing the truth of your being to become manifest. This remembering is the true power, the unlock to a reality that has always existed but remained unseen. Now, how do you begin this journey of remembering? That is the ultimate question we must address. Make sure to subscribe for more videos just like this and hit that notification bell so you never miss the next teaching. See you in the next one.